Hi, good morning. It's Angie. I'm with Geology of the Soul. It is September 12th, and we are continuing to work on our Badass Self-Love September daily prompts. I realized last night was a fucking blast. It was me and Serendipity Weird went live in the Witch's Realm together. Double trouble, tag teaming psychic readings with folks. It was a blast, just so much fun. But one of the things that I realized last night as we were talking, and I was sort of thinking about this yesterday, so I'm finding it very difficult to do the Badass Self-Love September prompts each morning. Like, I want the freedom to just, like, pull out my cards for the day. Like, what is my energy for the day? Fuck this shit. I don't want to work on my self-love, which I have two thoughts about. So the first thought I have about that is I just find directives difficult. Like, if I'm trying to pull a card for somebody else around a specific theme like this, or even for myself, I feel like I am cutting off other messages from spirit that might be coming through. So it's hard for me to stay focused because I'll get like all these other random messages that I'm like, well, but what about all these other things? But then the other thing about it is that I get this sensation of, fuck this shit, I don't want to work on loving my badass self. I love myself good enough. I don't need to do... So what that says is my body is starting to get resistant to this idea of really getting into this self-examination around self-love. And I talk about this with my clients a lot, that even though we know that these things are good for us to do, for instance, looking at these ways that we can improve our self-love, we tend to get really resistant and we won't follow through on things, or we won't finish things, or maybe we'll start we're off with a bang, but then things taper off and then we just get really resistant because we don't want to deal with it. And that's because we're actually making progress. Like, we're actually making progress. So in this case, this is causing me to really sort of self-examine these things, and that's a fabulous thing. But what it means is that I might end up making changes, and I might abandon previously successful coping mechanisms in favor of new ones that honestly would probably be even better for me now, but my like biological lizard brain / body is like, you're not going to try and do something new to me because we don't know if that's going to work or not, and we are terrified of going into the unknown. So bitch, please, we are going to continue to work on these same old coping mechanisms. I don't care if these same old coping mechanisms are leading us to have a really fucking shitty ass life right now, because we know them. And like, humans are biologically wired to stick with what we fucking know. So when we start digging into all this shit that like causes us to move into an unknown place, or into a space that maybe we aren't super comfortable with because we don't know how to behave or act, or what's going to happen or what's going to come, then we start getting really, really, really resistant. And so I just find it so fascinating that I am going, I don't want to do this badass self-love. I'm a better tarot reader. Like, this is the justification that my like body is trying to give me. I'm a better tarot reader when I don't have a specific theme that I'm trying to deal with. Like, fuck that. I know that I'm a perfectly honestly, awesomely good tarot reader, regardless of what it is I'm doing. I just don't want to have to continue working on this self-love bullshit, which isn't bullshit, of course. We all know this. This is Angie's like shadow self speaking right now. So I think that that's a really interesting to me to notice that in myself, to notice the resistance and how, oh my God, it's like so like reasonable and logical. Like, why should I do this when like I get better results out of just having, because bitch, we are specifically trying to get you to work on shit that's going to be hard, and it's going to be difficult, and it's not going to feel good, and it's not going to be it's not necessarily going to flow all the time. Like, I've been feeling so like flippin' stuck for the last few days. Like, how am I supposed to interpret this? And how am I supposed to interpret this? And maybe like I just need to work on building these questions better because I can't figure out how to answer them. And it's like, girlfriend, it's because your body does not want you, and your brain is like, there is no way that you are going to continue doing this because it's fucking hard ass work to do. Hard ass work to do. Okay, that was an unanticipated rant on my own shadow self and how fucking shitty this shit can be. Okay then, let's move on to the badass self-love prompt that my shadow self apparently does not want to do. What are you talking about, Fox? What do you mean it's not all rainbows, lollipops, and unicorns? Of course it is. That's my shadow self, but I will say, so I know it's not all that, because when you look up there, I've got my, can you see, well, there we go. I've got my rainbow dash, but I also have my raven and my skulls. So that is my reminder that life is not all lollipops and rainbows and unicorns. And now my shadow self is pissed off because we're going to continue to do some work with it, and it doesn't want to do the work right now. It just wants to be like, oh, I'm getting married. Let's go focus on that. Let's go focus on the joys. No, we are going to focus on improving ourselves as well, because especially like the more, okay, oh, seriously, like the more resistant I get to it, the more I know I need to work on it, right? So if I'm being like super resistant, like I don't want to keep doing this badass self-love September, I'm better off and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. Clearly, this is what I need to be doing. All right. So with that said, our prompt for today is, what fucking action do I need to take to feel sensual and creative and loving my badass self? So what's really, really funny is like, I read this out loud just now and I just wanted to be like, fuck that. I wanted to like throw the cards across the room. So you know, or at least me, I know that I'm like touching on deep fucking shit when I'm like wanting to throw the computer across the room, or I'm wanting to like run away, or I am just like, stop touching this like wound. So, oh, ugh. And let's keep going. Let's do this. All right. So what action? I like honestly do not want to pull a card right now. So I am like, my toddler self is saying, this isn't safe. This isn't safe. Stop. We're going to pull it anyway. Okay, so this is interesting. Once again, I'm left going, I'm not quite sure how to, oh, well, maybe I think I do know how to interpret this. It just is funny because of what I've been talking about. So, what fucking action do I need to take to feel sensual and creative and loving my badass self? And I got the 10 of Cups. So why I giggled at seeing this is because here I was talking about, all I want to do is focus on the fact that I'm getting married. Can't I just plan my wedding? Why do I have to do this like shit where I have to dig deeper and like dig my own tagline, right? Why do I have to dig deeper and like make myself a better person and keep striving? Like, what the fuck is this? Well, it's because I'm getting married and I want to be my best self, and I want to be in this partnership as my best self, and I want to be able to bring beauty, and not beauty as in like aesthetically, but bring the beauty of myself to this partnership and this creative aspects of my life. And the way how I'm going to do that is by stirring the pot and by maybe scraping some of those like what am I trying to, you know, when you're like and this food gets stuck to so scraping up the stuck food off of the pan. I'm sure there's a saying for it, or a word for it. So that's what we're doing today, and it just feels so weird and awkward and ugh. And it's not even today, it's this like thing in general. All right, I've got less than a minute to go. So the action that I need to take to feel sensual and creative and loving my badass, because I deserve to be in a relationship. So this is something too, like a lot of times I feel like I don't deserve to be in a loving relationship long term. I don't deserve to be getting married. I don't deserve to have this person in my life. I don't deserve to be paying attention to and like loving the fact that I've got this person in my life. And this is telling me, Angie, you fucking deserve it. You are a sensual and creative and awesome and badass person, and your self-worth, like, let's focus on how awesome your self-worth is so that you can accept that you've got this person in your life. So, you're right. Has the most flavor. That's really interesting when you get those bits and pieces up off of the pan, and then it tastes all the better. Those are all the good, yummy parts. Oh, fascinating. This is an interesting metaphor. All right, I have to go because I want to post this on Instagram, and Instagram keeps me at 10 minutes. I hope you all have a fabulous day today and have your own bitch sessions and get it out and then keep going.